Hi everybody, how you doing? Just going to check that I'm live and this is all really happening. Let's have a look. Excuse me just a moment. Are we live? Are we live? We're live! Hi everybody! So here we are, Coronavirus Central. Well, not Coronavirus Central actually, hoping not to be Coronavirus Central. So extra smudging today because I think we could all do with a little bit of a cool down. You know, actually I've got to be back in 1 second. Excuse me for leaving you blank for just 1 second. Whoops. Just needed to close a door, but I forgot. Okay. So I think a little bit of extra smudge is in order today, just to kind of chill the whole thing down a little bit. I don't know how you guys are coping. Who's self-isolating or being isolated or in quarantine? Anybody here? That's for you. Yeah, if you are. Here's a little bit for you, darlings. My little sweeties. Now, I've already, of course, done the room, done the corners, all that. This is just a bit for you. And of course, that's out with the sage. I love burning shit. The only problem is, it's a bit cooler the weather here in Australia at the moment. So I have closed the windows and the doors, etc. So we may have a fire alarm situation, but that just makes it more fun. It means I just have to jump on the bed, find a broom, you know, and turn it off. And this one here, this Palo Santo, has been infused with some oud and something else. I can't remember what it was. But all in all, I just think we need to call in some sweeter spirits at the moment, you know? It's all a bit hectic. My clients are under stress. You guys are under stress. The letters we're receiving via email are stressful. And you know what? Let's just try to bring some calm, some kindness, and some support, right? I love that smell. It is honestly the most beautiful thing. Oh, and to top it off, weird day, my light doesn't work. But I figured, I think this is cool. You can all see me, right? You know, or see enough of me to get this party started. We're doing it by candlelight. As you can see, I've got one lamp, but and the light from the computer. So I might look a weird bit blue. And there's Luna. Hey, Loons. Yep, she's gone up. She's decided she's just going to observe, I think, for now. Okay, now let's see where we are. Who's here? What's happening? Hey, Jessica. Dan, Jordana. Someone I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. Jessica, Heather. Clay, Cheryl, Janet, Shannon. Okay, let's go back up. I'm doing okay. I have had to self-isolate because I'm a little bit vulnerable. So mine's a prophylactic thing. I'm not infected with anything, but I've got to, you know, keep it down. So I'm okay now because it only really just happened, but I'm going to get bored crapless soon enough. But thank God I have loads of toys to play with. I have, you know, oils, wands, all my crystal. Makes you be creative, you know, in these times, because you can't go out for entertainment. You have to sort something out yourself, you know. Let's see if we get some questions. I'm just sort of easing into this today. I hope you don't mind, but it has been really full, you know. Oh yeah, well done, Clay. You know, I know what you mean. Like when you're an introvert, this is just like, oh cool. permission to do the things that we always do. Sit home, watch movies, you know, write, create, do whatever you're doing, but do it in on your own company. I get you, Clay. I get you. Are you a prepper? I mean, do you have all the things in your cupboard? That's what I want to know. Okay. We'll start with, first question up, I've got Cheryl. Starting a new position at work. Do you have a card for me? Of course I have a card for you, Cheryl. Of course I do. Here we go. So firstly, okay, this is the one thing I haven't done. A little bit of the boom, a boom, 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 boom. It's a really good third eye opening blend of oil. I love it, I love it, I love it. May I be a clear and open channel for everyone who's here, to give them the wisdom or the medicine for their highest good. So everything I ask for, all the messages I get, are for your highest good. It may not be what you want, but it is what you need. Okay, here we go. Cheryl at work. Let's see what we've got, Cheryl. Adjustments are required. Well, it looks like this new position is going to, well, it's going to mean, well, I mean, some of those seem obvious, as in, well, of course, a new job is going to, or a new position is going to require adjustments. But I think sometimes the cards come up because they're telling you how important those are, or perhaps how significant they are, and not to downplay them, and even maybe sort of psych yourself up, because there will be big changes. You're going to be learning new things. Where if you are adventurous and curious, these can all be great opportunities to learn new things, right? New tools, new ways, you know. So the next job that you have, it's like, oh, I had a position where we did that. Yeah, I know all about it. But some people are resistant to change. You know, they're uncomfortable. They don't want to make mistakes. They'd rather do the old thing that they know at the new place and all of that stuff. So this is saying adjustments are required. So perhaps look at also things like your expectations of this job and make sure that, you know, you're aligned to that, so you know what wavelength they're moving on. Okay? But that's for you, Cheryl. I hope that helps. I mean, it did seem a little bit generic, but maybe the reason that came up is because it's not really that big a deal. You know, just some adjustments are required. Okay? Good luck. Don't let them be mean to the new girl, right? Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I've got immunocompromised people all over the place, you know. Has my son-in-law ever cheated on my daughter? Janet, I know what you're asking, but I don't do yes, no questions with cards. So I can't answer that. I will pull a card on the situation, but it's not going to give you the clear-cut answer that you're looking for. That is a pendulum question, which I do in a very different form. And I use a pendulum here, but I use it for my guidance, right? You know, and it lets me know if I'm in tune with what messages are coming through. But I can't ask those questions in this format. It's very different. I have to invite in different spirits for that, and it's very one-on-one, which is why I do them separately. But I will pull a card for you, and I hope we get the answer, or I hope we get something that can help you. So this card, ooh, that was a bit hard. I didn't want to go in. This card is for Shannon. No, it isn't. I've got Janet, about whether her son-in-law has cheated on her daughter. Wow. it's really tough. This card is not, well, you can't see it, we haven't got enough light, but this card says nothing will come of this situation, right? Nothing. So, and I feel it, yeah, I feel this is very much speaking to you and your involvement, right? Yeah, I'm getting, all I'm getting for you, darling, is step back. And I say step back because you are going to, if something blows up with this, you're going to need to catch, right, your daughter if she falls. So stepping back from the what's happening is really important, because you need to have the open arms to catch your fall, you know, to catch her fall if she does, right? But it doesn't give you a yes no answer. Sorry, darling. That's the way it goes sometimes. You know, I burn sage. This is hey Shannon, how you doing? I burn sage because it does a really good job, but I don't love it. I don't love the smell. You know, I do it, and I do it at least twice a day, and a big smudge, so I'm used to the smell, but I don't love it. I love Palo Santo. I love sandalwood. There are all sorts that I just adore. Cedarwood. Mugwort is okay. Mugwort's pretty neutral. It just kind of smells like smoke to me, but it's very powerful. Luna, up or down? What are you doing, darling? She doesn't know what she's doing. I've changed the blanket to a pillow up the top there, and she's beside herself. So, hi Mila. This one's for you, darling. You're going through some, I guess that was stuff as opposed to staff. In which case, I'm not the person to ask. But let's have a look. I feel like we need this one for you, Mila. Ooh. This is interesting. She's Rhiannon, right? I can't show you, well, I can hold it up, but you can't really see very well, I don't think. It's or maybe a bit there. It's just too dark. But it says, in short, Rhiannon is a sorceress, right? And the card says you are a magical person who can manifest clear intentions into reality. Now, when that card comes up, I think it's really important that you underline the words clear intentions, right? When your intentions are clear, you have the capability to manifest what you want into reality. So this, if loads of stuff is coming up, I think sometimes that's saying, I'm not saying you can ignore it, but you can't let it stay as a priority. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to move to the part where you are visualizing and manifesting the outcomes that you desire. What were the exact words again? Manifest your clear intentions. So, I mean, simply keep your intentions clear. Keep them clear. I even with all this stuff that comes up, I still know where I'm going, right? All this stuff is on my path, but I still know which direction I'm going. That's one of the cards for you. Or that's one of the main messages for you. Okay, I hope that helps, you know. Just stay focused, keep walking forward. And it basically says you're magical enough to pull this stuff off. Right? Awesome. Go girl. Okay, Shannon. Are we done, you Shannon? I think I don't know. Let's have a, oh, the smudging, the good stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Do you have a question, Shannon, or are you just after a general card reading? I'm scowling down through, but I can't see. Scrolling. I can't see a question for you. Anyway, if there is, stick it at the bottom and I'll get to it somehow. All right. Hi, Marco. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know. I never know if it's Dan or not. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Claves Custos. Konstantinos. Hello. Nice to see you. Debbie. Nice to see you. Walden, Heather, card about your love life. Sure. Let's do this thing. Let's do it. Let's see what your love life's doing. I don't know if it, of course you can't read it. I don't know why I keep doing this, it's habit. Hold your vision, right? I like this because it's a fixed moon card and it basically says, again, it's quite similar to the clear intentions one in a kind of way. It just says hold your vision, right? This is not the time to compromise what the vision is. Again, you always may have to be flexible in the now, but the holding your vision thing is making sure that star, that guiding light, you can always see it, right? Hold your vision, even if it's like, you know, when a problem comes along, it's just admin. How do we fix it? How do we get around it? We're always going to keep going because we know where we're going. We like where we're going. We want to go there. But we just have to do what's in front of us. Hold your vision. This was also a don't tweak the plan, not the plan. Don't tweak the outcome. Don't tweak the goal, right? Or the intention. Hold it. It's important. And it's important that you hold it maybe now of all times. That's kind of, I think, why the card comes up, because maybe there are things that are sort of either, it's not, it's like don't change the what you're after. You can play with the how or whatever, but don't change the what, you know, what you're trying to manifest. Ooh, that's quite cool. There's a lot of this at the moment. Maybe there's a little bit of people are feeling a bit unsafe. So there's a lot of vibage out there about doing things differently or changing. I mean, because we all have to do things differently. But, you know, this will pass. All of this will pass. And as terrible as it is, people will live, people will die, and we'll all move on. I hope it's not me. I hope it's not you. But it's impossible for it not to. But then it happens every year, you know. This is just, we just know about it in a really big way. My opinion. Okay. So, Heather, sorry, I forgot what it was really about. It was about your love life. So hold the vision. Whatever your vision was for your love life, just hold it. You know, it'll either pass or happen or get there eventually. But hold it. Don't let it down. Okay, don't let it die or change it or put it down. Okie dokes. Hey, Darlene. Maxie. How are this one for that one? How will my negotiations go? Ooh, I don't know. Let's have a look. Max. Let's see these negotiations. Okay. It looks like it'll be successful, lead to some stability, but there is a slight warning of, or it will start off successful, so to speak, and there's only one warning card, and that is the one that says, be careful what, it's about communication, misunderstanding, and miscommunication, right? And saying that you have to double check what you hear and what information you're being given, so whatever information you share is correct and true and accurate, right? So it's like if somebody says, oh hey, the stock market's down 27,000 points, and you go, oh my god, and you go, the stock market's down 27,000 points and it's only down 15,000 points, you need to check it, right? You need to check that the information you are getting and therefore sharing is true and accurate, right? It's not a big deal, but it does sort of, you know, oh, she's got hands in her pants today. But it is saying just be careful. Not everything you hear is going to be true and accurate. And if you're in negotiations with things, that means double check the figures they give you, double check that you're able to, you know what I mean? Like, you really do have to make sure that you are, that what's being based is in reality, or you're wasting your time. Okay? That's what it says for you. Doesn't mean people are all out to lie, although it doesn't mean that they're not doing it either. It just says it's up to you to check that the information is true and accurate, right? I mean, maybe you're doing that already, I don't know. Who knows? Righty. Amanda, what are we doing? Any way you could pull a card or something for me, please? Of course I can, darling. I don't know what for, but here we go. Amanda Price. Let's see what we've got for you. You hear a sort of rattling sound. It's the cat playing with the incense packet, you know. But if I don't give her the incense packet, she wants to walk all over the table. In fact, she'll lie all over the table and just say, okay, it's time for a break, mummy. You know. Here we go. All right, Amanda. Oh, this is sweet. I wonder what it's in relation to for you, because you had a pretty general let's pull a card. But this is gorgeous. It's Mary Magdalene, so don't freak out about the religious aspect of it. They are all archetypes of, it's called the goddess, but you know, they're all archetypes of different types of sacred wisdom or the divine feminine, right? And for this one, that archetype is Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. So this is just saying, stay in the love moment, right? You're going to have to dig deep and find love in the situations. And in fact, to be honest, I think it's great. Especially in times like this, it really is an antidote for the fear, right? An antidote for the madness that we're having at the moment is, so the person who elbowed my nearly 80-year-old dad at the supermarket to get into the tissues first, it's really easy to go, you asshole, the guy's nearly 80, stop it, lean over and give him a packet. It's hard enough for him to bend down and pick it up, don't elbow him out of the way. Anyway, but you've got to find the love. And the point being is that this dude was panicked, rushed, scared, whatever. You know, and I, you know, when I heard about it, you know, of course, my first reaction is, you know, are you okay? Is everything all right? Blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, you've got to go, he's just so scared and we're not. We're just not going to buy into it, right? So find unconditional love in this situation, right? Find a way to be loving in a situation, in the situation that you're asking about, in any situation that you're doing, okay? It's just time to sort of really embrace the sort of, I think it's more Mother Teresa actually than Mary Magdalene, but maybe that's a more recent incarnation of that sort of divine feminine energy. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Whoo, that's for you, Amanda. Okie dokes. Can I have a card? This is for Jen. Can I have a card drawn for my business, please? Sure. So this is a card that's going to say, what am I asking this card? I am asking this card, what do we need to know about Jen's business right now coming up? Yeah. Maybe a little bit of what you might need to do, you know? Okay, here we go. That's the one. I don't know if you can see it, but wait, how do I do that? It's stuck out there. That's the one that you know. It won't go back in the packet, you know? Well, they've two stuck together, so how important is that? Right, number one. Number one is, emotions are running high. It's the super moon, right? And you know that. I mean, that I don't know where you are, I'm sorry, but you know that there is a general like of emotions, tension, vibration all over the world. There's there's a lot of panic and what have you. So emotions are running high. But this also says, I love this one. This is the new moon in Capricorn, and it says your hard work is paying off, right? And maybe it's not paying off right this moment, but what's happening right now is leading to a really good payoff, right? This is the things that you're doing are really going to work at some point, And I don't mean that they're not working now. I'm just saying that it says your hard work is paying off, and if it's not, if you're going, oh, it doesn't look like it from my perspective, then what you're doing is laying foundations. What you're doing now is what your success is going to be built on, right? And it's also saying that the more effort you put into it, the more you get. Your hard work is paying off. So the things that you work hard for will do really well, That's for you. Let's have a looky. Dum. That's Jordana Young. You had pulled a card for me in a reading a while ago. The snake, an unexpected complication of my relationship. Could this virus thing be it? Could I have a card to see if love will triumph through being separated for a few weeks from my love? Ooh, well, first of all, I mean, if love can't survive a virus, it isn't love. Do you know what I mean? Sickness and in health, right? If you can't survive a virus, if you can't survive a couple of weeks apart from each other, or if the relationship, not you, the relationship can't survive, it's not much of a relationship, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be that fragile, right? But let's pull. Not saying you're not going to miss him and you're not going to curl up in a little ball, But let's have a look. Let's see what the cards say. A win-win outcome is forecast, right? So it's going to be okay, right? A win-win outcome is forecast. That says to me that both of you are going to get something out of this situation, whether it's a new found desire for each other, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and all of these things. A win-win situation is forecast. That means both of you come out on top. Awesome card. Absolutely awesome card for this. Well done. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what sequence of events is going to make that happen, but it's saying that the outcome of this current situation is going to be positive for both of you, however that manifests. Great card. Great card. Okay. Nicolette Dial. This would be super fun project. How to make a paper moon. Oh yeah, cool. We can try that. I mean, not now, but we'll try that one day. Thanks for the link. That looks really cool. Dan, or whoever. Can my beau and me have a kind of what's next card? We're trying to plan our event. You know what it is. Bum, 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 bum. Let's have a look. I don't know if I can do a what's next card. Oh, let's try this one. Oh, that's probably not all the cards jumping out. That's probably me. It didn't feel strong. That felt you. Right. Unexpected complication. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why that card doesn't come out permanently. I suppose it's saying that an unexpected complication might disrupt something that's really delicate, and to maybe try and make what you're doing a little sturdier. Do you know what I mean? So something that can withstand, like, no, don't just put the umbrella in the sand, put the rocks around it so it's sturdier. It's just saying that there are unexpected complications coming. So that sort of means if you thought, well, if this happens, we can do that. If this happens, we can do that. If this happens, we can do that. There's one thing that you hadn't thought of, and it may not be a disaster, but it will throw a spanner in the works. So just like everything, make sure you're agile enough to pivot, right? And to get where you need to go and get over it. I think again, this is just sort of be prepared. It's like it's exactly like having a piggy bank or a savings. You don't know what you're going to need it for, but you know you might need it. So you have a little spare thing, a little something put aside for whatever it is you need. So in regards to this event, there will be a hiccup. So have plan Bs for things. The venue gets buggered, you know, or whatever. Try, you know, you've got a second venue. I mean, you have to book it, but you can have an idea in mind. Or you have 3 venues in mind, right? Something else happens, you can do that. It's not hard. You just have to get prepared for that. Okay? Looks all right. Be prepared. This is such a Boy Scout kind of vibe at the moment, isn't it? You know, crazy town. Seriously, just need some nicotine. Okay, because that's all it is. It's just a nicotine boost. Gone were the days we could smoke. Right. My husband passed. Oh, Lindsay, I'm sorry. My husband passed a year ago. Will I be able to move forward and find love again? Or get over these health issues I've been having since he passed? Just a minute, Lindsay. But in fact, if anybody's got a minute, let's just send Lindsay some love. Seriously, girl. From my heart. Life's shit sometimes, man. But this is for you, okay? From my heart to you. Right. Let's see what we need to know about you finding love again, okay? Because there is endless love, right? There's enough love in the world for everything, you know? Let's see what, wisdom or medicine is being sent to you about finding a new love, okay? Oh, here we go. That's a big one. This is beautiful. So, firstly, it's the blue moon card, right? Okay. So, blue moon is like, I mean, they say it's like once in a blue moon. So, it's rare, but it comes around all the time, right? There's a blue moon. It feels like there's a blue moon at least once a year, right? And the message of this card is believe in the impossible, right? So I can only imagine you feeling somewhat like, I don't know if I could ever find someone I connect with again. What's the chances of finding someone twice, right? Believe in the impossible. Okay? That's yours. That's beautiful. Believe in the impossible. Might not come now, and it probably won't come until you're somewhat ready, but believe in the impossible. Okay, darling? Okie dokes. Right. Clay. You read the book called The Black Witch? I don't know if I've read that one. Savannah probably has. Linda. A card for myself, please. Anything the spirits want me to know. Cool bananas. They are the kind of questions I love, because there are times you just have to listen, right? Instead of always coming, I don't want to say instead of always coming with your hands out, but, if you want a stronger relationship with spirit, then sometimes you just have to listen, and hear what they're actually trying to tell you without always it being so transactional, like, I need to know this, I only come to you when I need something. Imagine if that was a friend or a relative or something, that's why we press so hard for you to set up small altars and things at home and set up little, even if it's just a candle with some crystals on it or something, a place of praise, right? And it's more important that you do something in regards to the praise and the gratitude, I'm sure I've said this before to you guys, but in magic you say thank you before you say please, right? So these type of things these are great questions to ask. Like, what do you want me to know? What do I need to take out of this, if nothing else? Great question, Linda. And here we go. This is for you, darling. Yep, that's the one. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. So I find this card comes up when maybe the scales are not, because life gets in the way, but the scales are not as well balanced as they need to be, right? So as you do, life gets in the way sometimes, and it's busy, and we have, and we think, God, I haven't done anything spiritual for a while. Do you know what I really need to get down to my practice? And other times it can be the opposite, which is I'm completely working in my magical, so I'm casting spells and I'm lighting candles and giving gratitude, and there's something every day of the week, but I've actually not done anything about it, right? Savannah will roll her eyes at this. She'll point at the screen and she'll say, love spells, because I'm always doing love spells myself, and then I don't date because of a whole bunch of other reasons, which we won't go into at this point, but I don't. And yet I'm the first person to sort of like, I've got love spells all over the place, but I just won't do it, right? And it's sort of like, he's not going to come and knock on the door. And he said, well, he might. He'll have to until I'm ready. But do you know what I mean? Like, I would, if that advice was given to me, I would have to go out and do something. It's like, you can be all the spiritual you want, but if you don't put lippy on and go out and have a drink with your friend in public, where someone could approach you or you could approach someone else, you can smile and wink and flirt and, flick your hair or do whatever you got to do, then, you got to balance it. So this is about making sure that it's neither one of those are layered for you, Linda. That's your advice that your spirits want you to know. And you know where you are on that scale, right? Anyway, hope that helps. Hello, Juliana. Hey, Cheryl. You're welcome. Elena, will I die from this virus? Well, firstly, I don't do death questions at all. So, no. I mean, I won't even entertain that question. No offense, but it's so not helpful, that kind of thing. You can go somewhere else and see if someone else can do it, but I won't be doing it, darling. I'm happy to pull a card for you with perhaps some advice about, or a message about what you might need to think about or approach, or how to approach this crazy season or whatever. But will I die from this virus is just, well, it's a yes or no question, which is a pendulum, which I've mentioned before is not how this works really. But also, no, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not even going to ask it. You know what I mean? Elena. Well, I don't know if you're in quarantine or isolated or anything like that, but this is, and I'm not sure what you do, but you've got a beautiful card from Sarasvati, she's a goddess of music and poetry and knowledge and things. And she's often considered either a goddess of wisdom and of creativity, right? And her message is express yourself through creative practices, right? So in some ways you can look at this, so, in regards to the virus, which is kind of why I pulled it for you, this says get creative. And I think it's get creative on all levels. It's like, think outside the box, get creative in your kitchen, get creative in your bathroom, get creative in your cleaning, get creative in your entertainment, how you get to work, how you help others in your community, like, get creative, think outside the box, that's what you got to do. I think it stopped for a second there, but we're back. I hope you didn't miss too much, but I'm sure you got the picture. Think outside the box, darling. Okay? There you go. Hathor Blackmore, I would like to know what my guides would want me to know. Thanks, honey. You are so welcome. Hathor, great name. Don't know if it's real or not. but we'll see. This is cool. Sedna. They want you to know, this is a beautiful card actually. Infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all your tomorrows. It's essentially, don't worry, you're not going to run out. You're not going to run out of magic, energy, friends, family, love, toilet paper. You know, any of the things. You have an infinite supply. Actually, I'm only joking about the actual material things. This is really speaking about your energetic stuff, right? That's cool. I like it. Nice. That's for you, Hathor Blackmore. Right. When will I meet my husband? I don't know. When am I going to meet your husband? Hey, I hope he's nice. Can he cook? Let's have a look. Now, I can't do time with these, but what I can do is give you an idea of what happens until you meet him. Do you know what I mean? Like it's I can't sort of say it's in 6 months or a year or 3.5 months or whatever, but I can tell you it's going to be, whoa, big one. Right. Last one. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So essentially, I'm not going to lift all these cards up because you can't see them anyway. Essentially, Juliana, this says you guys need to be, you're going to meet your husband when you meet someone who you are in alignment with, okay? Who's on the same path as you. And this is, I mean, you know, anyway, this is what is significant to your query. And that can be difficult, but you can manage it, right? You've got the rose in there, which says, look, roses are valuable, desirable, have a beautiful perfume, all the good things, right? But they have thorns. And you can have roses, you can have as many as you want, but you have to handle them in a certain way, right? So you can't just grab them like you would a gerbera, right? Because it's got all the thorns. You have to wear gloves and put your fingers in the right places and all that stuff. So this is saying, get an alignment, right? So pick someone who is in alignment with you. It doesn't mean they have to be the same. It means that you're both going in the same direction, right? And be aware that for you, your husband is going to come when you are able to be more customized and flexible, right? After customizing and flexibility, or flexibility and customizing your approach, customizing being the rose part of the thorns, right? You know, you're going to have to do, everyone is different, right? Then you really have to, it's also going to come after both of you, which is really interesting, learn how not to repeat old patterns. So I think it looks really like this is the when is going to come when you meet someone who is fully aware of what their issues are. They might not have solved everything, but they're fully aware of what they are and are working towards not doing that kind of thing again, right? Whatever that is. And, you know, whether it's, I don't know, being short-tempered, it can be anything from drinking too much to being short-tempered to, you know, just having really unhelpful relationship patterns, you know, and habits. And it's after you learn how to break those, both of you, it's after you learn how to break those, that it will be okay. Does that make sense? I know that seems like quite a lot, but I want you to be able to recognize, right, that when you meet someone who you're in alignment with, who you've never had a relationship like this, the customizing, etc., and you've really learned how to do things differently, and they've really learned how to do things differently from their past relationships, that's the answer to the husband, right? Not bad. Get down on it, you know. Then it's just time to meet people, right? Cool. Well, I hope that helps, Juliana. Let's have a looky. Andy, can you please tell me about my marriage? I'll do my best. I'll pull a card for it anyway. Andy Akins, this is for you, darling. I think you're discovering these cards say, what was the exact question? Can you tell me about my marriage? Okay. This is saying that it would be beneficial, right, for you to turn the light on, illuminate what things need to be balanced in your marriage. It says actually if you get a really good balance of things where everyone's needs are met, so to speak, it's easier said than done. I understand that, but that's what it's saying. If you can really highlight, illuminate, turn a light on to the places and issues where your marriage may be sort of out of sync, you will find some great luck. Right? That's the whole point of this. It's like you'll be really lucky. Your marriage will be really lucky if you can balance everything. And it is hard because sometimes it's not up to you to do it, right? It's really hard to drag people kicking and screaming into doing this, right? But it's saying that if you're feeling unlucky or your marriage is going in a not great direction, it's because not everything is in balance, and everything being work and work-life balance and body, mind and spirit, and kids and family and alone time and dating and chores and whatever. It just means that it's not everything is being represented. It's all weighted on one or two things, and these really important things are not being met. So when you balance all that out, which is difficult, right, but it's saying when you balance that out, it's really lucky. Like it also says you have good legs. It's time to start looking at what those areas are that are out of balance, so you can balance them, right? And then move forwards with something better. Okay? That's what it says for you. Now quick time check. 10 minutes. Woo! Okay. Right, while I'm reading. You're welcome, Janet. Punky Brewster. I remember Punky Brewster, right? I was young when Punky Brewster, that was, I wouldn't say an idol, but certainly a sort of like, oh, wow, look at the hair, look at the punkiness, look at all the sassiness. Like, it was cool, man. It was really cool. So anyway, this is for you, darling. Punky Brewster. Feeling lost at the moment. Can you have a card? Of course you can. I think everybody's feeling a bit sort of, I don't know if they're feeling lost, but they're certainly feeling all a bit stressed. Let's see what guidance we can get for you, Poppet. You need 2 cards. I can feel that already. You need one of these. Where are you? You're over there. One of these. And then one of the Goddess cards as well. We're going to give you message and medicine. So for you, it's going to be about a kickstart, right? Like a jump start. Because you're feeling lost. Your cards say, number 1, it's actually both of them are about energy. And Freya, right? Freya is saying to you, be bold, okay? Unleash your adventurous side, take risks and be daring. Right, so if you're feeling rudderless, which is what I call lost at the moment, and maybe this is time to sort of drill down into that, and not keep it so vague. Not with me, of course, unless you want a separate reading. But this isn't the format for that. But drill down on yourself and ask you, why are you lost? What are the parts of your life where you feel like you don't know what to do? Right, because that's or where to go or how to manage or whatever. And part of that's to separate the things that are actually going fine, right? And not to clump everything in, and and maybe be a little bit daring. And I think it's saying, especially if you're lost, try things. You don't have to get everything. You don't have to start with a tattoo, you know? You can start with henna. See if you like the way it looks, right? It's that kind of thing. It's you know, be bold, try things. Try them in a sort of relatively safe manner. Do you know what I mean? But try new things, right? Try doing things a little bit differently, trying approaching things a little bit differently, even if it's just sometimes it will just give you the perspective that, oh, hell no, I had it right the first time. You know, like, okay, I thought it might be nicer over there. I thought the grass might be greener, but hell no, I'm going back to where I was, you know? And even that gives you a sense of certainty, right? Which is another antidote for being lost. And the last one is weirdly, the energy is gaining momentum. Right? I know you're lost, but all that energy, all that momentum is still building. And I think it's one of those things where if you don't use it for something constructive, it's the type of thing that explodes, right? So it's time to really, you know, really sort of get yourself and give yourself a little pep talk, like, you know, come on, man, we've got this energy. Let's use it for something good, right? Let's use this. It might not feel like it, but it is building, and you can tap this, right? You can tap into this energy that can get the memento going, right? And it also kind of says perhaps use yourself as the momentum to do things rather than expect that to come from outside. You know, like if I get this whatever, then da 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 da. If I can get that, then whatever. But don't let outside or external circumstances depend on external circumstances for your motivation, because this card clearly says you have it. You know, it's already there and it's already gaining. So tap it, sister. Okay, or brother. I don't know who Punky Brewster is, but there you go. She's a sister in the thing. Mike, hi Mike. You're so welcome. I think it's Mila. Hey, Larissa. Hey, Jason. Jason. Will your lover come back to you? Jason, it's a yes/no question, and we don't do those because we're not doing pendulum readings. Sorry, darling. Think of another question and I'll try to get to it, though I'm clearly running out of time. Shannon, oh, you've got yours. That's cool, darling. Dan is me. Yes, hi, Dan. Hey, Kim Carson. Nice to see you. Nice. Okay, Larissa. Love your work. How are things in Australia? Well, they're probably as crazy as where they are with you, right? So we've got... I do think they're getting it together just a little bit. I don't know where you are, but what's happening here is we have a slightly different preparation because we're coming into winter. So this is our normal flu season. And then we add this, whatever this is, this super flu, or I call it beer flu, right? So how do I do this on, I forget because I'm not that cool, but is it that? Where you go beer flu, like hashtag, is that the hashtag thing? I don't know. I'm not cool enough for that. Hashtag beer flu, right? That's what I'm saying. So it's a weird preparation, you know, here they're really trying to figure out how they're going to cope with this for months and months and months on end. So anyway, whatever. We're okay. It's all a bit madness. Toilet paper situation, rice, the cleaners I get, but the toilet paper, like the shops are still open. Family of 4. And you need 48 toilet rolls. That coronavirus is not your problem, man. You've got gastro, if that's the situation. But aside from that, it's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's a bit rainy and stuff, which is really quite nice. I quite like it when you can get cozy. It's good weather to have to isolate yourself because it makes you want to be inside and snuggle. Whereas if it was gorgeous and sunshiny and you just got your nose pressed up against the window and wondering why you can't go to the beach, that would suck more, you know? Anyway, thanks for asking, Larissa. Appreciate it. No, I've done you, Dan. That's cool, Baloo. A card about your love life. Go for it, Larissa. Let's do this thing. Okay, no, I am going for goddess. Goddess for a goddess. Goddess card for a goddess. Here we go. Sometimes I freak out when I hear my accent and how Australian it's become. It used to be very English, but now it's like, gory. Anyway, Larissa. Let's have a look at your love life, darling. What's going on? Might be exciting. It'll definitely be insightful. It's that one. Inner wisdom. Ooh, Athena. So first of all, love Athena. Goddess of wisdom and war, depending on whereabouts you're looking. And what she was really awesome at is being the goddess of strategy, right? So she organized it all. She was a warrior, as in she was able and willing to lead her troops, but her expertise lay in the planning, the diplomacy or lack of it, and the war strategy, right? So she is a strategist. And this says to you, Larissa, you know what to do, right? You already know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay, right? So that doesn't have to be serious bad stuff, right? That doesn't have to be heavy relationship fixing. That can be like, well, let's try for a baby or not. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how old you are, but you know what I mean? Like, it can be fun stuff. Just says, you know what to do and take action without delay, right? Just get on with it. I mean, you don't have to do it frantically. You don't have to do it quickly. I mean, the thing quickly. You just have to make an effort. You have to start. And there's another great quote, an Auden quote, that said, once you commit to doing something, Providence opens doors that were never possible before, or that didn't exist before. Something like that is that quote. And it's so true. Once you decide to do something, so for this, once you start taking the action, right? Where's that card gone? Once you start taking the action, all these other opportunities open. The energetic sort of level, it changes, you know? Once you actually start, you're bringing in a whole new energy stream, right? And that's awesome. So take delay without doing it, whatever it is, you know? But once you know, I think it also should say, well, does it say you know what to do? You know what to do, or perhaps even once you know what to do, just do it, right? No time for procrastinating. It's time to get stuff done. And if you don't know what to do, then you need to sit down and work the problem out. It's one of those, I've got to sit at the table and I'm not going to stop. I'm not getting up until I figure this stuff out, right? Or at least until I figured a way to start out, right? I love this. It's Boom Shiva, mugwort and blue lotus and all these really beautiful oils and scents that help open your third eye and create stronger bonds with spirit, and it smells delicious. Okay, Mike, I'd like to ask what's going to be the outcome for my workers' compensation case. Thank you so much, and I'm glad to see you doing well. Thanks, Mike. Much love to you. Thank you, dear. Let's have a look. I'll do my best, okay? Well, things are gaining momentum. That was the first card. We just had that one before. I tell you, I promise you, I'm a good shuffler. Because every day I'll be shuffling. So it is all coming to a peak. You may be asked to do something a little brave, right? You know, a little bit not what you would normally not normally do about it. You know, it might be in regard, I mean, I don't know anything about, you know, stages of legal cases, you know, touch wood. but this says the next card is step out of your comfort zone. So I think it might be saying, you know, you might feel, well, at the very least, it's saying there's an uncomfortable stage for you coming up. You're going to have to step outside. You're going to have to feel vulnerable, observed, assessed, all of those things, right? You know, and maybe I think it's also saying to prepare, right? Prepare to do that so it doesn't rock you too much, you know? And the last one related to the outcome is not very helpful. Look, it says eventually, it basically says eventually prosperity lies ahead, right? But either it's something like you may not get what you want, but you'll get a seed which starts something else, or I'm not quite sure how it goes, but there are a couple of cards before the prosperity card, right? One of which is have faith, you know, in your dreams, which means to me it sort of feels like it might drag out a little bit, or it might be tied or have conditions to it or something along those lines. And weirdly, which the bit that makes no sense is the bring love into the situation. And I'd have to sit on that a little bit to figure it out. And look, when that sort of card comes up in something that sort of isn't related to love or romance, it's not talking about romantic love, you know? It can be talking about self-love. It can be talking about a lack of bring love into the situation would be about detaching, in some ways, detaching from the negativity of it. Do you know what I mean? Like detaching from the negative things, you know, whatever, the grievance, all of these things, you whatever court case you're going through, what was it, your workers' comp thing that you're going through, you deal with yourself with love, right? You know, this is it will never, you're the one who has to come out of this okay. Whether you come out of it as a huge winner or a loser, you know, either way, you need to come out of it as whole as you can be, you know, without the don't give yourself the trauma, you know, is one way to look at it. That was a bit hard to get to, that one. But I liked the prosperity lies ahead at the end of it, right? So it's coming. And I think also in some ways, this isn't the only opportunity you'll ever have, right? That we have faith in your dreams. You know, we had cards that sort of said, you know, you'll be okay, right? There is prosperity in front of you. You will have your dreams in front of you, you know. Even though it didn't sort of give like a, sure, you'll get this much sort of thing. Right, my darlings, I have to go. Sorry I didn't get to you. Sorry, everybody. Who was the Australian? I just whizzed past in Australia. Molly. Hello, darling. G'day, love. Hope you've got toilet paper, rice, whatever. Hope you didn't have to fight off too much. Okay. Right, my loves, I'm going to go. I have to sort of do some refreshing and things before my clients. I hope today, I did keep it kind of today because I kind of felt that we all needed a bit of, I think the excitement and emotional level is running really high. So keep your head about you, you know, don't get caught in the madness, right? This will pass along with everything else, you know. Big love. Here we go. Me turning off the camera.